Hey everyone, welcome. We're going to talk about something you probably walk past every day without a second thought, but it's absolutely critical. Hospital walls. Yeah, walls. They seem so simple, right? Just sitting there? But when they start to fail, and they do, it can cause a huge domino effect, hitting everything from the hospital's budget all the way to patient safety. So, let's get into it.
Okay, let me ask you something. What do you think is the most abused surface in a hospital? Go on, take a guess. I bet most of you are thinking the floor, right? I mean, it makes sense. People are walking on it 24/7, carts rolling over it, constant cleaning. It's a really good guess, but it's not the right one.
Believe it or not, it's the walls. The walls take an absolute beating. Think about it. They're under this constant daily assault from harsh chemicals and endless collisions. And the stuff we typically put on walls, it was just never designed for that kind of abuse. So when these surfaces inevitably fail, it's not just about looking bad. It's a real problem that hits infection control hard and drains maintenance budgets.
And that really gets us to the heart of the issue here. A hospital wall isn't just a wall. It lives in this incredibly tough, brutal environment. It's not just a pretty backdrop. It's got to be an active, high-performing surface that can take a punch day in and day out.
Just picture the daily grind for a second. These walls are getting hit with aggressive disinfectants. We're talking bleach, hydrogen peroxide, not once, but multiple times every single day. They're getting scraped up by gurneys, carts, all sorts of equipment. And on top of all that, they need to hold critical information like wayfinding signs that absolutely cannot fade or peel away. It's this relentless sustained stress, and your standard paint or wallpaper, it was just never, ever designed to handle that.
So what do you think happens when you take a finish that was made for your living room and you throw it into this high-stakes clinical battlefield? You guessed it, it fails. It breaks down. Let's look at exactly how and why these traditional solutions just can't keep up.
You know, the root of the problem is a totally different design philosophy. Traditional wall coverings, like vinyl and paint, are basically just for decoration. Their biggest weaknesses? The glue that holds them on the wall and the seams you see every 4.5 feet or so. But an engineered system? That's completely different. It's designed from the ground up purely for performance. It's seamless, it doesn't need adhesive, and its actual chemistry is built to stand up to those harsh hospital cleaners.
And those design flaws, they lead to a whole bunch of really predictable and frustrating failures that facility managers are fighting constantly. You see colors getting bleached out, vinyl peeling back at the seams, you even get these permanent chemical stains called ghosting. But here's the most critical part. Every single crack, every little lifted edge becomes a perfect hiding spot for bacteria, and that completely undermines the entire point of infection control.
Okay, but this is where the story takes a turn for the better. The answer isn't just about finding a tougher paint or stickier glue. No, it's a whole new way of thinking. It's about treating the wall finish like it's a serious piece of engineered infrastructure for the building.
So what is that? It's a chemical-resistant mural system. And what that means is the actual stuff that makes up the image, the pigments, the binders, they are chemically engineered from the start to hold up against disinfectants. It's not just some protective top coat they slap on at the end. The durability is baked right into its DNA.
So how do they do this? This is the really cool part. It's done through a technology called direct-to-wall printing. And get this, it's not about sticking a graphic on the wall. It's about making the graphic an actual integral part of the wall.
The whole process is surprisingly simple and efficient. First, they do the usual wall prep, cleaning, any repairs. Then, this specialized printer just moves right along the wall, applying the image directly. And here's the magic. As it prints, a UV light instantly cures the ink, hardening it into this super durable, solid surface. There's no waiting around for glue to dry, no nasty fumes. And for those really high-traffic, high-abuse areas, they can add an extra tough clear coat right on top.
So you see how this just systematically knocks out all those old failure points? By getting rid of adhesives, you get rid of the #1 cause of peeling. Because it's perfectly seamless, there are literally no cracks or edges for dirt and germs to hide in. And on top of all that, it's fast and it's quiet, which is a game changer for renovations in hospitals that need to stay open.
Look, this is about way more than just having a wall that looks good. This is about making a smarter, long-term investment. Because when you start to add up the cost of maintenance, all the repairs, and eventual replacement of traditional stuff, well, the true cost of your wall finish becomes crystal clear.
Get this. An entire patient care area can often be done, start to finish, in under 5 hours. Now think about that. Compare that to the days of disruption, the noise, the fumes that come with putting up traditional wallpaper or vinyl. The advantage from an operations standpoint is just massive.
This chart really lays it all out.
With traditional vinyl, you've got a high risk of seams failing, a huge disruption during installation, and a real headache when it's time to take it down. But with direct-to-wall murals, the risk of seam failure is zero. Disruption is minimal, it lasts longer, and when you're finally ready for a change, you can just paint right over it. So from day one all the way to the end of its life, the total cost of ownership is just so much lower.
I love this quote from one of our sources because it just nails the whole idea. We need a wall system that performs like part of the building, not a decorative layer that needs constant attention. That's the mindset shift we're talking about. It's not decoration, it's infrastructure. So I'll leave you with this one last question to think about. In a hospital, every single person, every piece of technology has to perform at the absolute highest level. So, isn't it time we started demanding the exact same thing from our walls?
Thanks for your time.